Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about the 2025 film Io Edebiri's Opus. And there are actually no spoilers in this content for Opus. So it's really fascinating. I went to see Opus um, in, let me get this right here, late March 2025. I think within its opening week. I didn't see it on opening night, but within its opening week. And so basically, I have a Regal Movie Pass, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's absolutely fantastic. I couldn't imagine going to movies without a Regal Pass now. It's like, what are you doing, right? Like, it's incredible. So, but it does change the way you see movies. So, um, specifically, I went to see. This is the fourth movie I saw in a week, right? And there were two movies that came out earlier, and earlier this week they just released, right? So I go to see something every Thursday night on opening recently. It's very, very rare that I don't see something on opening night, and the reason why um, is it doesn't cost anything extra, right? So I already went to see the two movies that released this week that I knew about because I had seen trailers. But I go to the movie so often that I see movie posters, but I also see trailers, right? Well, this movie Opus, I I was, first of all, 5 out of 5 stars. This thing is absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend going to see this film. Okay. I'm still kind of unpacking what I saw, but I want to explain to you why I went to see Opus, right? So I cannot believe how this movie was marketed. I think it might be a test, right? Like, I can't imagine they're ever going to, I can't imagine that many movies at all are going to be released like this, right? So there was no marketing. Like, the only thing that I saw for this was a movie poster, and it said Opus, right? And it had Io Edebiri's face on the cover. That's it. Like, it didn't even have, like, it didn't even tell you what the movie was from the picture, from the like scenery behind her face. It was just literally Io Edebiri's face, right? So the only possible way you would even remotely consider seeing this film is if you knew who Io Edebiri is. Now, I do. So let's talk about who Io Edebiri is. So Io Edebiri is one of the most significant, I would say she is the most significant rising star on the female side today. She is absolutely brilliant. She was in The Bear, right? And she was brilliant in The Bear. She was really extremely good in that. She was also in a movie called Summer Camp. And she had another movie where she played like an LGBTQ high schooler. That one, you know what? That one, oh my goodness. That movie was LGBTQ Fight Club in high school. It was super, if everybody in the Fight Club was girls, super bizarre film. But Io Edebiri, and then of course she's in The Bear. Right now, The Bear is without a doubt the best show currently airing on television, air quotes television, right? Streaming, you know what I mean, right? But it's absolutely brilliant, and she is absolutely brilliant in The Bear. She's absolutely phenomenal in the Bear. So Io Edebiri is powerful. She's a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. I think she has a huge career on her way, and Opus is a masterpiece. She is absolutely perfect in this film. She grounds the film, and she's fantastic, right? So why are we talking about this movie in context to Dungeons and Dragons? Well, here's the kicker, right? So I never saw a trailer for Opus. I only saw the movie poster. And the movie poster was very, very carefully crafted to say, hey, if you know who Io Edebiri is, you can see this film and see her as a rising star right now. If you don't know who Io Edebiri is, you can kick rocks. We don't care if you see this movie or not. Like, they made zero effort to get anyone to see this movie, which is incredibly bizarre, right? Now, I saw this movie. I was fortunate. So I'm a dedicated American movie enthusiast, right? And I go to the movies, and so I saw the poster. I know who Io Edebiri is, and based on my taste, I was able to witness this thing. And and here's where this connects to Dungeons and Dragons. So I love Dungeons and Dragons. I have dedicated. All right, so I can't say I dedicated my life. I've prioritized my life in the following manner: uh, Christian husband, father. Right, those take the top slots. Right, I take those most seriously. After that, I have the fourth most important thing in my life. And by the way, why don't I? Well, Scott, why don't you talk about those other things instead of D&D? Because ain't nobody want to hear any of that. We can barely get people to go to church. Guys who are trained to talk about the Bible can barely get people to talk about to listen to them talking about the Bible. And you got to find your own path to being a husband and a father. And most of you don't even want to do either one of those. So that's why I don't talk about those things. Boy, do I love talking about Dungeons and Dragons. So I absolutely love Dungeons and Dragons. I am in love with Dungeons and Dragons. It is the most powerful secular thing I've ever experienced, right? And so what's really fascinating is I am I have dedicated my life beyond those at a fourth priority level to answering the question, what is Dungeons and Dragons? And I have talked a lot about what I think it is, right? And I really thought that the number one important thing about Dungeons and Dragons is the narrative, like this, how it uses narrative as a tool to change human beings. It's truly incredible. It's just, and I've talked at great length on that subject right here, right? But when I saw Opus, I was like, I realized I went to this movie because I was familiar with this incredible creative talent, right? And I and the and I'm using the bear as a filter, right? Bernthal banging, just doing amazing stuff. Looking forward to him in Account too. Io Edebiri, uh, Jeremy Allen White, I think that's his name. Um, Unbelievable stuff. He was just in the Iron Claw. Everybody, oh my gosh, the one tall actor. He's going to be in Fantastic Four. He was in Andor. Everybody in the Bear. The Bear is a filter for the most creative, talented, rising stars today. It's incredible, right? And what I think, there's no question. The narrative is powerful. The narrative is extremely important in Dungeons and Dragons. But the Bear served as a filter for me to get to see this 5 out of 5 star film, Opus. And I wouldn't have seen it without the Bear, right? And I think what Gary did with Dungeons and Dragons was he built this the most perfect filter for encountering the best secular humans ever. Now, Jesus, he made a better filter, right? That's churches, right? The best people you're ever going to find on this planet are in churches, evangelical Christian churches, right? Jesus Christ, that's the best filter. Gary Gygax created the best secular filter, right? And I'm starting to wonder, maybe D&D isn't about the narrative, but the people at the table, because that filter is for the most creative, confident, intelligent, and frankly, I think maybe even the most generous people out there. It's wild. So I recently went to Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo and met a whole bunch of tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts. Everybody there loved D&D. And what really blew me away was I met a new person and we got together, we played D&D. And the second time we played D&D, he brought over hundreds of dollars of brand new tabletop role-playing games and just gifted them to me. It was like, I'd never seen anything like it. Was the second time we got together to play D&D. and just showered these, incredible gifts on me, and I was blown away. Like I was just but I also look back and I think about all these people that I've known, right? I knew a historian who wrote a thesis on the glass palace, right? And I knew it's like I look back and there's so many people that I've met who are just all of those things. They're charismatic, they're confident, they're intelligent, and they're really unique and special, right? Like Io Edebiri is a world class talent, right? And this is her opening, right? She isn't huge yet, right? She's just on the cusp of stardom, right? And I think she's bound for an Oscar. I truly do. But The Bear is a filter to show you the best acting talent out there right now. And I think Dungeons and Dragons is a filter to connect us with the greatest creatives of today, right? The most charismatic, confident, intelligent people. And it almost as if there's a race. What's important? Is it this powerful tactical infinity narrative that's unfolding? Or is it us being able to have this special filter to connect us to the most creative, confident, intelligent people within our physical proximity, within the 50 miles around us? It's profound. It is truly profound what Gary Gygax actually accomplished. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.